What's up YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with today's video, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close and we are now 209 subs away from hitting 500 subs. And if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because practically 100% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this. What cards would you guys like to see get hit in the upcoming ban list? Let me know down in the comments below. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing for today's video, is ban list predictions for the spring 2025 format. And I'm going to be basing my predictions on what took place at the team YCS in San Salvador just a couple weeks ago. Now, interestingly enough, just getting straight into it, Riziel and Malice completely took over. Malice, right, and Riziel were the top two decks that completely took over. And as far as like what the rest of the decks were in at that event, we had Riziel, Mitsurugi, Blue Eyes, Mermail, which is very funny, Fiendsmith, and Yubel. I don't know why someone chose to play Yubel, given the fact that I think Phantom is at 1. Nightmare Throne is all. I think also Nightmare Throne is also at 1. I gotta take a look. Here we are. Excuse me. Excuse me. I believe out of all the cards that were in the deck, I don't think there's anything that got banned. Was there? No, it doesn't. It doesn't look like it. I think pretty much all the cards that got limited. I think at this point. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure everything got limited. So I think, let's see. Phantom of Yubel got limited to 1. We already knew that. Yeah, yeah. I think that was the only card that got limited to 1 in this last ban list. Everything else is legal. So it's kind of weird to it's kind of weird given the fact that Phantom of Yubel is limited, and you really don't see Yubel, the defending lover forever, played all that much, unless if it was like a last resort type of deal. But as far as that goes, again, Riziel and Malice were the top two decks that were played the most at the team YCS in San Salvador, and first place actually went to the team of Cameron, Tyler, Neal, Christian, Raphael, P.A. Urena, I believe is his name, and Kamal, Derek, El Crooks, Valdez. That was the team. In fact, Kamal and Christian were playing Mermail, where as opposed to Cameron, he was actually playing Riziel, which is very Very interesting. And I'm gonna show you guys each deck, each of the decks from all the teams, from all four teams in the final four. So this is interesting because I believe, honestly, looking at all these decks, I mean, it was very interesting to see what to see these decks get played. But looking at the first place team, um, the first the first place team, um, featured. Let's see here. The first deck featured 3 Ash Blossom, 3 X Ryziel, 3 Ice Ryziel, a Node Ryziel, 3 Sword Ryziel, 3 Desires, 3 Talents, a Prosperity, and 3 Ultimate Slayer, which is very funny. 3 Bonfire, which is very, very funny. Two Ryziel Cross, a Ryziel plug-in, 3 Book of Moon, a Double or Nothing, a Call By, 3 Impermanent, 3 Solemn Strike, with the extra deck being a Garua, a Golden Cloud Beast Malong, Utopia, Photon Papioperative, Abyss Dweller, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, which is very funny. Utopia Double, Dugaris, 2 Ryziel Detonator and Duo Drive, 1 Eclipse Twins, a Myriologic Aggregator, and a Tri-Brigade Shurag, the Ominous Omen, which actually is a really good one. Really good one. Really good card for the Ryziel decks. And then the extra deck, this guy had 3 Mold Charming Polaria and Fualos, 3 Lancia, a Duster, 2 Lightning Storm, and 3 Gravekeeper's Inscription, which is very, very hilarious. Yeah, that was actually the Ryziel deck. The Atlantean deck is pretty much identically the same. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I mean they're running cards like Deep Sea. They're running cards like Atlantean Dragoons, the Mole Charmies. There was like a lot of these decks were actually really good. Some of them may have been a bit unorthodox because some Ryziel players were playing cards like Valor and Fable Luri, which Luri is kind of like the combo starter, if you will. But in a way, looking at all these different decks, because again, some Ryziel decks were playing Ghost Ogre, Crossout Designator, which made no sense whatsoever. But at the same time, if you're playing a mirror match, obviously it's gonna make sense. Some people were actually literally playing all of the different Mole Charmies that are still around. So Fualos, Perula, and also Meowls, which Meowls is actually kind of a weird one because it's more so like Monster Reborn. It's for like bringing out monsters from the graveyard, but still, I mean, a lot of these decks were actually incredible. But what I want to do is I want to check out the Yubel deck, because if Yubel is in here, here we are. Here is the Yubel deck. So this was part of the top 8. So this is actually part. This guy was part of the top 8. This guy here was playing Fabled Luri, 3 Valor, 3 Samsara Z Lotus, a gruesome grave squirmer, 2 Dark Beckoning Beasts, 3 Ash, a Lacrima, the Crimson Tears, 3 Fualos, a Druid's Worm, a Magnum Hut, a Unchained Soul of Shavara, 3 Fiendsmith Engraver, a single copy of Yubel, 2 Spirit of Yubel, excuse me, a Yubel Terror Incarnate, 3 Nibiru, a Terraforming, a 1-for-1, a Pot of Prosperity, Fiendsmith's Tract, 3 Nightmare Throne, 2 Opening of the Spirit Gates, a Nightmare Pain, Fiendsmith's Sanct, 3 Imperm, and an Escape of the Unchained. This guy's extra deck, he had Aerial Eater, Necroquip Princess, Phantom of Yubel, Fiendsmith's Desiree, Wave High King Caesar, Varudras, the final bringer of the end times, a Sky Crisis or Anti-Zeus, 2 Unchained Soul Lord of Yama, Fiendsmith's Requiem, Unchained Soul of Rage, Muckracker from the Underworld, SP Little Knight, Moon of the Closed Heaven, and Fiendsmith's Sequence. And then the side deck, this guy was playing 2 Droll Lockbird, a Red Resonator, funny, which is very, very funny for gaining life points, 3 Peloria, 3 Lancia, 2 Ultimate Slayer, a Call By, and 3 Forbidden Droplet. So looking at every single one of these decks and then some, there's definitely a few cards that I can totally see getting banned. That I can totally see getting banned on the on this upcoming ban list. First one up, hands down, has to be Triple D Wave High King Caesar, and the only reason for it is because of the fact that it's mainly because of the negation. It's a way to pretty much just stop your opponent from playing anything, including, actually, funny enough, I believe it can stop cards like Fiendsmith's Tract, and it can also stop a Nibiru, and apparently there's a lot of people who believe that Wave Caesar is just too good to be a part of the format, and apparently people think that it needs to get hit. Do I agree? In a way, I do, but the thing is that this is the first time that this is actually the first time in a very long while since this card ever saw competitive play. So I really don't want to see this card get banned, but I feel like it's going to anyway. So that's something to be mindful of once we do get the ban list. Next one up is actually Fiendsmith's Requiem, and this is actually basically the combo starter, which allows you to special summon any Fiendsmith monster from the hand or deck, which literally enables the fusion plays, and it enables being able to summon out closed heaven, which ideally, if you're running Underworld Goddess, it can basically help you link climb into that, and you basically have yourself a special summon negate, right off the bat, which is pretty crazy. Um, so that's another one. I know that there's been a lot of people who have been clamoring for Dimension Shifter to get banned. I really don't see Shifter getting banned all that much because you really don't see it get played all that much anymore. And I think, honestly, I think the card's fine. I know that some people might think it's think it's a much more powerful version of Macrocosmos. And while I do agree with that statement, I feel like I feel like the card I feel like it'd be better if the card was at 1. And the reason why I say that is because you're running a 40 to 60 card deck, and what's going to happen if you don't open with Dimension Shifter? Is it really the end the is it really the end of the world? No, honestly, it really isn't. So, but I truly believe, and this is where I believe is going to trigger a lot of players. But I can totally see all three mold charmies, Peluria, Meowls, and Fualos getting limited to 1. Yeah, you heard me right. All three mold charmies getting limited to 1. And the reason why is because I feel like yes, all three do resemble Max C in a way. The problem is that Max C is still legal on Master Duel, and it's still legal in the OCG, which is very funny. And we found out that in the quarter century Stampede set, Max C is being reprinted in that set. So it comes down to the question of, is Max C going to come back? That right there is the ultimate question, and it is very possible. It's very possible, and I feel like if Konami chooses to unban Max C and put it to 1, it would only be right if they put all three Mold Charmies to 1. That way, the whole format would balance out it would balance out entirely. Which brings me to actually Artifact Lancia. I think Lancia is just too damn broken. It's just so it literally stops cards like Dimension Shifter, Dark Law from banishing the from banishing cards, and I think it's just too good. As crazy as it sounds, I can honestly see excuse me, see that card going banned, really easily. What's another card that I could totally see getting limited to 1, or perhaps going semi-limited to 2, maybe. Call by. I feel like call by should come back up to 2, just because of the fact that using the hand traps like Valor, Droll, Ogre, Ash, literally all the hand traps is getting to the point now where the hand traps are getting more are becoming more and more powerful with each new powerful deck that we get into the format. And I feel like if Call By were to come back up to 2, it gives players a real fighting chance to try and fight back, if you will. So I feel like Call By definitely should come back up to 2. Pot of Prosperity, I'm being real. I just ban the living shit out of that card. Like, Pot of Prosperity is just so good. Being able to being able to just randomly add a card to your hand, and also being able to find ways to take cards from your banish pile and put them back into your main and your extra deck, i.e., perfect example being Frame Lord Omega. I feel like prosperity is just becoming more and more broken with each new deck that comes out. So I feel like if that card were to get hit, I feel like the format would be perfectly fine. There is one other card that I've noticed. Where is it? I'm trying to find it. Um. Oh, here it is. Is it this one? Um. No, it's not this one. Um. No. Oh my god, I'm trying to find it. I want to say it's Fiend Smith's Desiree, or it could be something else. Um. Yeah, I think it's this one, Fiendsmith in Paradise. This was actually in my opinion, I feel like this card is just absolutely insane because of what it can do. So I'll read off its effect. Target one level 7 or higher light theme monster you control. Send all cards on the field to the grave that are not that monster. If your opponent special summons a monster while this card is in your grave, you can banish the card, send a fiend monster from your deck or extra deck to the grave. You can only use each effect once per turn. So this literally enables the effect of Desiree to just combo off and just extend to where your end board could end up being Chaos Angel, Dweller, plus Detonator, and plus Detonator, High King Caesar, and Closed Heaven, which Closed Heaven is just absolutely insane. It is just absolutely insane. I feel like that could possibly be the case. Those are just some of the cards that I truly believe should get hit. I know that there might be some others that I'm missing. But based on what we had seen, based on the chart on what was what decks were played at the Team YCS in San Salvador, those are the cards that I feel like should be put on the ban list or limited to one. As far as the cards that I feel like that should be taken off the list, there's actually a few. There is actually a few. First one up, I truly believe, and this is actually going to be a massive. This is going to be a very, very controversial idea, but barrier statue of the Stormwinds. The thing is that we don't see wind based decks anymore that are being played right now. Like Flunderies was a very powerful deck. Like what 2, 3, 4 years ago or something like that, and the deck was really good. It was so good because of the barrier statue wind, because of the storm, because of the wind barrier statue. If Stormwinds came back up to like maybe 1 or 2 or something, then yes, Flunderies would make its way back into the meta. The only issue is that there are so many decks that can stop it. The deck the deck itself is essentially dead. So I feel like Stormwinds could potentially come back up. I know, again, with Quarter Century Stampede coming up, Max C being in that set, we could see Max C come back up at some point. which again, I get it. A lot again, players don't want to see Maxi come back up, but even they know that it could happen at some point. Um, uh, the what else could come back up? Maybe Curious. Lightsworn Dominion could potentially make its way back into the format. Assault could make its way back. I know that it was used in the Infernoble Knight deck, and that deck, you really don't see that deck get played all that much anymore. So Assault, I feel like, is just fine. It's like fine. Um, Verte, Anaconda. I doubt they'll ever bring that back because of the fact that Dragoon is still in the format. DPE is still in the format, and those were the reasons why Verde Anaconda got banned was because of those two fusions altogether. Some more Bird of Sovereignty again going back with the Wind Barrier statue. I feel like it's fine. I feel like it'd be fine to see them come back up at some point, but we'll have to wait and see. Um, and then honestly, I feel like as crazy as it sounds, a lot of the older cards that were used in decks like Go format and in the empty jar decks, cards like Pot of Greed, Cold Wave. I feel like that they could make their way back into the format just because of the fact that with how strong a lot of the current decks are, and with the fact that cards like cards like Imperm, Ash, Ogre, Bell, with all these different hand traps and all these different all these different negation cards that we have. I feel like cards like Cold Wave and Pot of Greed and maybe even potentially Heavy Storm, they could potentially come back, and I feel like it would just be okay. I feel like the format wouldn't really change all that much, but there is one that I honestly want to see come back up, just because it's just because of how funny it would be, and that's Royal Oppression. And if you guys are not familiar with Royal Oppression, basically anytime you or your opponent special summons a monster, you or your opponent can pay 500 life points to negate the summon and destroy the monster. Because that there are so many decks right now in the format that do rely a lot on special summoning. If Oppression were to get errated to where you had to make a choice of either paying life points or to destroy the card, kind of similar to Fairy Box and kind of similar to Fairy Box and Imperial Order, I feel like Royal Oppression would be okay. Is it now? Would it be really okay if it came back with the effect that has now? No, it wouldn't. But if it got an errata, maybe. Who knows? But I will say, I think this next ban list that we'll be getting pretty soon is going to be very interesting, just because of the fact that with decks like Raziel, decks like with decks like Malice and Raziel potentially going to be getting hit, and with Blue Eyes, Evil Hero, and Dragon Ruler all going to be making their way into the format. I have no doubt in my mind that this ban list is going to be very interesting. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more ban list predictions in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.